All right, thanks for staying with us this afternoon. The Commission of Inquiry into alleged impropriety at the Public Investment Corporation also beginning its work today. For some analysis on the inquiry into the PIC, we're joined by Makwe Masilela from Makwe Fund Managers. Thank you so much for your time. You know, for a long time we've had different individuals and political parties such as the UDM's Bantu Holomisa really call for a clear, detailed investigation into what is happening with people's funds and how those funds are being used by the PIC. And certainly this then would be a step in that direction.
By all means, and I think it's good for all the parties, because I think we need to clear the air. We cannot be existing, in this festival of commissions. And yes, we need to understand, number one, why the commission is there. It's because of these media stories that we've been getting, right or wrong, but the fact of the matter is people have made allegations, and now one has to understand the processes of how do you use that money. Here we are talking almost 2 trillion, but now my biggest question is, are they only looking into listed or unlisted? The reason I'm raising that, the better portion of PIC money is with listed securities, almost 1.6 trillion, So now I think it will only be fair to look at both, because at the end of the day, they are all investments. They go through investment decisions. They have certain processes, but people have to know that the PIC has been the PIC. Their biggest client is the Government Employee Pension Fund. As you said, those are the pensioners' money. But now there is some reporting lines between the client and the PIC, in the sense that GEPF itself, they've got their own investment committee, they've got the ESCO to ESCO meetings. So I think if there's anything that has been wrong, one will have expected that those kind of meetings, they should have picked it up, let alone the board itself. But commissions have to happen.
Let's talk then about the full extent of the risk here that the PIC would be putting those that are beneficiaries of all of these investments, because ultimately some of the money is said to have been invested in projects that completely collapsed, that never amounted to anything. So I think just bring it home for us. Why should I, as a government worker, be worried about how the PIC has been investing its money?
That's your pension money, and remember the PIC is running what they call a defined contribution. So when you go on pension, you are guaranteed you'll get X amount. So if the PIC is making wrong investments, like you said, that those investments, do not give the necessary returns, then that's bad for me as a pensioner, that's bad for me as a government employee. And truth be told, all investment houses, the good and bad investment that they've made, PIC, we can easily pick up what happened with Steinhoff. They've just lost huge of money, but at the same time, they made good money when it comes to the likes of Naspers. So things have to pan out. And it's not only PIC itself, most investment managers, one can also pick up what happened with Old Mutual, the investment in Scandia. Also, one can pick up what happened with Investec, the investment in UK, Woolworths, the investment in Australia. So all I'm trying to bring home is that all investment managers, they've got the good and the bad, but at the end of the day, a good investment manager will continue to make good returns. So it's important for me and you. So the point is, if PIC, for whatever reason, they make all the wrong investment decisions, then it means that pensioner won't have anything the day they have to go on pension. But like I said, they've got good investment that they made, as much as they've got the bad ones that we've made, the ones that we've just mentioned.
Why is the political interference, which is also one of the things that this commission will be looking into, why is that important, especially when it comes to them choosing to invest in a certain entity because there's been direction from certain people in government that that's where the money should go?
That's totally wrong, because our investment decision, as the principal officer, as the chief investment officer, has to be informed by the fundamentals of that particular company. But now if you're making investment because somebody told you to make that investment, that's totally wrong. It's not acceptable. And government have to have an interest, in the sense that here you're talking about government employees. So it's very important that they have to have interest. And here it's a fund which has got almost 2 trillion. So everyone who's got an interest, whether we like it or not, what's happening with PIC, we've seen them, they've been managing to help some black enterprises as much as white enterprises. But the long and short is, it's wrong that your investment decision is not informed by the fundamentals of that particular investment. Because why are you making investment? You are making investment so that you can make a good return. So if it's an instruction which is not going to benefit me as a pensioner, manner, then that's totally wrong. And definitely people have to be brought to book if that's the case.
All right. Thank you for coming in and at least putting us into perspective there. Makwe Masilela, he is from the Makwe Fund Managers. And that inquiry, of course, also kicking off today. Our reporters are there. You can expect to hear more from them in terms of what has actually come out of that inquiry today. Well, South Africa is holding a lot of inquiries at the moment. 3 separate commissions, of course, hearing different evidence today. The issues, state capture, the PIC, and the behavior of 2 senior prosecutors. Well, these hearings deal with allegations of corruption and maladministration, and they're all part of a push for clean governance in this country. So our question to you this afternoon, do you think that these inquiries will produce results? And the options are yes, no, or you'd rather wait and see. So all of these inquiries being held, and certainly a lot of details that would have otherwise remained uncovered have been unearthed. But in the end, do you think that they will produce results? Well, you can cast your vote on our question, all the details on your screen. And of course, on Twitter and Facebook, you can go to @ENCA, and we'll have the final results just before 6 p.m. And please do go and cast your vote there. All right, coming up on the channel, the Competition Tribunal has fined CompuTicket 20 million rand. This is for abusing its dominance. Devin Morrigan has the details for us. You're watching ENCA now.